we live in a world where we're told to disconnect. We're living up in here,
Hmm.
not in this body that we live in, not in our hearts. We're living in our heads. And if I could give anyone any advice in the world, it's find the people and the things that drop you out of your head and into your body to where your knowing is, to where your power is, to where your passion and your purpose are, and listen. Get quiet and listen.
It's the Health in the Real World podcast. It's time to start the show with Chris Janke as your host. Here to give you everything that you need when it comes to fitness strategies. We keep it simple and easy. It's your roadmap to get healthy. You don't need equipment and you don't need a gym. Just the right strategies to get you fit and trim.
Welcome to Health in the Real World. I'm Chris Janke, and I'm joined today with Karen Brunnings. Karen, what's going on?
Hey man, how are you? It's nice to see you.
You too. So we're connected through Amor Trzaski, who is a client of mine. She's been on the podcast twice.
Yeah.
If any of you watching haven't seen that, Amor coaches people who are going through cancer. She's a 2-time survivor of cancer. And Karen, really great to have you on. You're a trainer, as am I, and we're going to talk health, fitness. And we were just talking about what the pandemic has done for business. So we can go there too.
Yeah.
There's the face.
It's actually and then
it's an opportunity,
yeah.
right? Just like anything in life, you can shade it gray or black or white or purple or yellow. It is what it is, and we look through it with our different colored glasses depending on how we want to interpret it, right?
Indeed.
So, Karen, what type of fitness do you do? What's like a little bit of background about who you are and what you do?
So I have been a personal trainer. I started out, I'm gonna age myself here. I'm just about to be 50, and I've been teaching classes and training since I was 20 years old. So a long time, a really long time. Oh, it's crazy in my head to be like almost 30 years. Are you kidding?
Right.
But I'm also a life coach. And so really my work is, whether it's through empowered conversations or individually created workouts, my job is really to kind of help people go from having that like, holy shit feeling to hell yeah. And that really kind of happens from reconnecting people to their power, to their passion, to their purpose, by helping them understand what they really want, and using their bodies. If it's coaching, it's through conversation. If it's training, it's helping people use their bodies or their thoughts and their habits, to create that life that is completely in alignment with who they are. Not who the world tells us we should be, not how our fitness, the world is like, you should be doing this, you should be doing,
Right.
you should be eating this,
Right.
you should be eating that. But it's like bringing people home. That's our job as coaches, trainers, teachers, in the fitness and the wellness world, is to bring people home to themselves and their power and their passion and their purpose. And we're just lucky enough to do it, to be able to use the body as a tool to be able to let people experience that again if they get disconnected.
Right. And you're not about, okay, you're going to do 3 sets of 10 of this, and you have to do it like that, and you have to do this and that and that, and this is the protocol that you must follow in order to get this result. It's more organic. It's more listening to the individual, connecting with them in a deeper sense, and figuring out what they really want. Sounds like you're doing stuff like that.
Yeah, because when people like I remember my first, when I went back to training full time. I kind of took a hiatus when I had my kids, and when I went back to training full time, I had this girl come to me with like a magazine, like she opens the magazine, she's like, I want to look like that.
Yeah, right.
And at the time I was like 38 years old, and I was training when I was 20. I might have been like, okay, yeah, totally, I get that. But as a 30-year-old woman, I was like, okay, why do you want to look like that? Tell me why. And I think that starting back to training with that in mind, of like, I need to understand the why underneath why people are coming to me. That's when you get to the real why. It's like, what happened to their confidence? People come to us with a different life story, body story, confidence breakdowns, disconnection from themselves. And when we can get to those deeper parts of them, that's when our clients have success. It's not when we throw the sets at them and tell them what to do. It's bringing people back to their intuition. We are all our own best experts.
Yeah.
Truly, we're our own best expert, but we get caught up in the mire of like, I need to do what I should be doing, that, like I said before, like I guess I should be doing CrossFit or eating this way or that way. It's like,
Yeah.
nope, I need to bring people back to like, just listen.
Yep.
And that's what sort of sets me apart, I think, at the gym that I work at, is like, that's my mode, that's my jam, that's where I feel most comfortable and most impactfle.
Nice. So you mentioned at the gym that you work at, are you guys back in the gym or
No?
Where are you? Where are you located?
Truckee, California.
Okay, so you're actually close to them more too then. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
So you're saying
not in the gym.
a lot of shoulds, like, people think, oh, I should do this, I should do that. Tony Robbins has a good thing, don't should on yourself.
Totally.
Just do you, right? Be you, and then move on from there. So that's great. So
Yeah.
Karen, I want to go to the first question though. You've been in the fitness industry for 30 years.
Yeah.
So you are an expert by all means. You've gone through the 10,000 hour test and then some, but you're still a human. So I want to ask you to sort of help people identify with you a little bit more. Where do you struggle, or maybe even where have you struggled in the past with your health and fitness, and what strategies have you used to overcome those struggles?
Oh my goodness. I think, there's so many, right? Like our lives are so complex, and and I've changed. What my struggles were in my 20s are very different than what my struggles are now. My struggles in my 20s were dealing with my body needs to look a certain way, having all of these insecurities, and I at the time I think used my body as a weapon and not an ally. Against myself I tried to shame it into looking a certain way. And I think even when I got in the fitness industry initially, it was more like, I've got to keep this thing looking a certain way. And the evolution of my fitness has really gone from using my body as a weapon to learning how to use it as an ally. And it was for me a very long runway, and I had to use coaching and yoga and meditation and all kinds of different tracks of fitness to come to the point where I am right now, which is this vessel, this body that I live in. It's by no means like the girl in the magazine with the perfect, airbrush thing, but it is strong and capable and powerful. And that came in a lot of iterations and things. But now, as an aging, I say aging, that sounds so funny. I sound like my parents.
Everybody's aging.
Wow, but that like sounds, as an aging athlete, as an almost 50-year-old, I think now I think in my fitness, I'm so much more gentle to myself and so much more in tune with what my body truly needs versus what I think it should do, right? Like I tore my bicep tendon, and I know how to treat myself in that space when I'm injured, to move differently, to listen to what feels good and what doesn't. And I think that as an older athlete and trainer, that is a gift that we get with experience and age, is learning to really listen to our body and what it needs. Yeah.
I love that. As an aging athlete, it's funny. I know with pregnancy, I think it's 35 years old. If a woman is pregnant at 35 or older, they call it a geriatric pregnancy.
Right? Isn't that so weird?
I think that's the most messed up thing. You're calling a 35-year-old woman geriatric. Come on now.
I know, right? And truth be told, I think that I'm 49 years old, and I love my fitness so much more now than I ever did, because it's just so much, and it's so in tune with who I am. I'm not crushing myself to race bikes anymore. I'm enjoying the process of fitness and my body, and watching it change and get stronger, and what needs more attention and what doesn't, and just sitting in that is,
Yeah.
it's awesome. It's awesome.
Well, you know what it becomes? I've noticed this too. I just turned 40 about 6 months ago, and I've been going down this road for a while because I hurt my back when I was 14. So I've always been really aware of how fragile the body is or can be. And what I think it is that I've noticed I've stopped working out for other people or for the magazines or for the the approval, the praise.
Right, right.
And I just want to have fun. Like, I just want to enjoy the actual process. I don't want to always be thinking about, oh, if I do this stupid diet program and these dumb workouts for the next year, I'm gonna look like Superman.
Right.
I don't care. I just don't. And I like to say Idgara, IDGARA, Idgara. I don't give a rat's ass. Like, I really don't. I don't care anymore. So it's a great place to be because, and I know people will tell me like, oh, Chris, you have a good foundation. You were an athlete when you were in high school. I get that. So it's easier maybe for me to maintain than it is for somebody else to get it in the first place. But still, I think it's a great place to be where you are. Just enjoy yourself. You know, even though your bicep got ripped off by that shark attack, but
still crushing it, still crushing it, finding all the things I can do that are awesome and make me feel amazing. And that's what we do.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what do you tell somebody who is in that mindset? Do you, well, let me ask you that. Do you try to talk them out of it, or do you just run with it? If they're like, I want to look like that model in the magazine, I will do whatever it takes. Do you just roll with it, or what do you do?
You know, I fortunately, I do a discovery session with every client, right? Like, before we even start training together, I sit down because I want to know what they want, what their goals are, what their ideas are for fitness. And I don't try to talk anybody out of anything, but I try to show them a different way, right? And teach them to celebrate the right now and the small successes. You know, in coaching school, one of our little sayings is small hinges open big doors. And that's really what I try to do is try to celebrate the little wins, the little wins, and celebrate even more the small mind shifts that I hear in my clients. Like, I'm not a big numbers person. You know, you can do all the diagnostic stuff in the beginning, like have all these matrix to look at somebody's development and growth. And I want my clients to hone in on how they feel versus what is that number? What is that? Did I get gains? Did I lose pounds?
Right.
It's like, it's more like showing them a different way of viewing themselves in the world and in their fitness. And that's delicate. And that's what's so great about this work is like, our work is so delicate. People look at us as trainers and coaches and teachers, and they're like, well, you need to know exercise physiology and how to put workouts together and biomechanics. And sure, yeah, we need to know those things. But man, that's 10% of what we do. We deal with the soul. We deal with the story. We deal with the person. And when we can come up from underneath that and then add the layer of fitness, that's where the magic occurs. It's not the tools that we give them. It's the underneath. It's the foundation that we help them build. And yeah, I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. I think it's really, if you just have all the book knowledge but you can't relate to people and you can't empathize and you know, even your story, like if you've been overweight yourself, or if in my case I had a bad back injury, which is the reason why I do the specific type of training that I do, it makes it a lot harder because you don't know exactly where that person is walking and you don't know kind of what they're going through to be able to guide them to that next level, right?
Totally.
So
Totally.
Karen, I really like this last question, and take it whatever direction you want. 1 to 2 minutes. Let's say somebody calls you up and says, hey, we want you to give a motivational speech to our group. Big life lessons. Like, what have you learned in your whole life? And this can be fitness related, or you can go bigger picture. What is your motivational speech? I've given you a few minutes to think about this. So You shouldn't be. Just kidding.
What? Don't be putting the pressure on me right now. Not okay.
I've literally given you like 8 minutes.
What?
That's not that much time to organize
No,
this. So
and also
gonna,
let's face it. 1 minute. Come on now. This girl could talk for a really long time. So.
right. That's the challenging part of it. If I say 45 minutes, go, we got this covered. I wanted to say something. I want to give your brain a little time to ruminate on that question, because I wanted to say something about what you said a minute ago.
Yeah.
Because I think this is important about the metrics and about measuring, right?
Yeah.
A lot of trainers, that style of trainer, right? They're very analytical. They're very like, okay, you have 14% body fat and we want to get you down to 8. For a lot of years, I tried to be that guy. I'm not that guy either. And because I finally realized too, the reason why people want to lose the body fat or gain the muscle or whatever, bench press a certain amount of pounds, is because after they do that, they're going to feel so good, or they're going to think that they are going to feel so good. So I love it that you focus on the feeling anyway. It's like, let's bypass all the numbers and crap and just like go right to the feeling anyway. So there,
okay,
I gave
so
you a...
wait, hold on a second. You just took my speech, man.
Yeah.
You just took my speech. Okay, forget it.
All
I'm done.
All right, guys.
That's
Thanks
it.
for joining us today.
Okay, bye. Bye, everybody.
We'll see you next time.
Okay. No, I mean, okay. Yeah, thanks for that. I'll just slide right into that.
Okay, go for it.
I think that, you know, my whole deal with training and coaching is connecting, helping people connect to themselves and finding things that allow you to do people and things that allow you to be able to do that. We live in a world where we're told to disconnect. We're living up in here, not in this body that we live in, not in our hearts. We're living in our heads. And if I could give anyone any advice in the world, it's find the people and the things that drop you out of your head and into your body to where your knowing is, to where your power is, to where your passion and your purpose are, and listen, get quiet and listen. And I hope as a trainer and as a life coach that that's really what I do for my clients, because it's been exceedingly important for my health and my well-being and my parenting and my career and my life. So there's that. How's that for my 1 minute elevator speech?
That's awesome. Very good. And
Thanks.
and I know you said you hope that you're living like that. Everything that Amor has told me about your classes and about your just how you've helped her, it sounds like you definitely are. So
oh my gosh, yeah, totally.
Cool. All right, Karen, I want to give everyone a chance to know how to find you. Website, social media.
Sure. I teach digital classes right now. That's one thing that we didn't get to talk about the COVID thing, but COVID.
Ooh, the COVID. We could talk next hour about the COVID.
Right. And just what it's done for our profession. And if you had asked me 3 years ago or even 2 years ago, hey, would you be teaching live classes on the computer?
Right.
Have them be awesome. I would have said, you're out of your mind. I'm in the people business. No, face to face is where my jam is. And man, oh man. So as a result of COVID, I started teaching group fitnesses by donation only, meaning that those that can pay or can donate to the class if they want. Those that can't because they've lost their jobs, they still have, we all have a right to connect with each other and with our bodies. And I wanted to create a space to be able to do that for everybody and anybody that wanted to join. So I can give on Facebook, my company name is KCB Coaching, and you can find me on Facebook and find the link to those classes on Facebook. I usually do a little morning post on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday saying like, hey, class is coming up, and there's the link right there. And then my website is kcbcoaching.com. I don't know if you'll have a link on the podcast here, but you can put a link there if you need it or want it. And cool. And my email, if anybody just wants to email shout out and give me a high five or chat, I would love to hear from you. It's Karen@kcbcoaching.com.
Sounds great. Well, Karen Brunnings, thank you so much for joining us today. Health in the Real World podcast, and we'll talk again soon.
Awesome. Can't wait.
Thanks for listening. morebalance.com to learn more.